So the channel recently reached 30k subs, and I want to give a huge thank you to all you guys for supporting. And to celebrate that, I want to do a Q&A video, and that's exactly what we're doing today. I made a social media post not too long ago asking you guys to ask me any questions that you guys want to learn about the channel, or even myself, or even any suggestions of future content or merch that you guys would like to see. It looks like we got a ton, so I look forward to reading them, and let's go. Okay, so for the very first one, it's not a question, but just a general comment from Taylor, just saying, first, exclamation mark. I mean, that's great, you know, speed is good and commenting on my post, but I need you to ask me a question for me to answer back to you. Let's go on to the next one, which also isn't a question, but just a regular comment as well. But from Kelly, congrats on 30k. Been here since you had 5k. Really appreciate the long-term support. That's been quite a while thinking back, 5k all the way to 30k. Wow, it's definitely a lot. But now let's go to the third one, which is a question, which is by Panchi Live. Was wondering how you get such great quality videos. The edits and the transitions are just too smooth. Well, thank you so much, first of all. When it comes to making videos, we take a lot of shots. Pictures, action shots, shots of cards, and the most important thing is actually lighting. Having good lighting to make sure that your, whatever you're taking is well exposed can, make sure that the cards themselves are shown at the best possible angles. And then most of it, just want to give a shout outs to Sam, which is the main editor here on the channel. And afterwards, he just makes everything pretty. So yeah. Next question, we got one from Collecting Rod. So shout out, as this is a new player that recently started playing, and they made a video talking about their whole journey and what it's like from the very beginning, which is really, really cool. And I watched that and commented, and here we are now. So the question is, maybe talked about this in the past, but what's your process for designing new products? How did you find a designer? What companies do you work for? For manufacturing, they look really cool and high quality. Also, congrats on milestone, and I find your channel invaluable as someone starting out. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for the kind comment. I really appreciate that. This is a really good question, so I'm going to take a little bit longer to answer right off the bat. So when it comes to designing a new product, it takes a lot of time. It starts all from just brainstorming, from working with a couple of friends that I work with, are artists themselves, and then we go through the entire design process together from beginning to the end. I kind of like direct the process, and I kind of like envision what I exactly want. I kind of tell them this is what I want, and this is what I want to be drawn to be applied to it. We do a ton of testing, making multiple samples, making sure that it looks good and good quality before we actually put them on the store. And I work with many different manufacturers. Each individual product category has its own manufacturer, like playmats, bags, sleeves, binders, deck boxes, dices, and the list goes on with everything that we have. And they're all specialized on really good at what they do. And by working with them, that is to ensure the quality is top notch, which is something I highly value whenever I come to make any content, or, especially when it comes to merch alone as well. Next up, we got one from VV Guard. Congrats on the milestone. Just want to say thanks for deck lists that help you to have a base in making your own changes. Thank you for the designs for the mat, sleeves, deck box. They're wonderful. Just want to make some deck box and sleeves for the adventure because that would be an awesome. And thanks for everything. Keep going at it, and sky is the limit. And yeah, it makes me really happy that the videos that I upload here on the channel are helpful, and always use it as a foundation to help you, as a starting point to learn, and always encourage you guys to make changes to the decks, as you can always discover some spicy things or really cool combos that nobody else would be able to. So yeah, always experiment and go out there and be creative and start cooking. Next up, we got Matt Zero. Congrats on the milestone. I've always wanted to have some black gear cards. Maybe they do something like turn any rookie into a purple color card to allow for some weird inherited combos, or take control of the enemy's Digimon for a turn. So my question is, are there any anime ideas, moments, or characters that you would like to see in the game? What do they do? Thanks so much, and continue the great work. I gotta say, taking control of the opponent's Digimon sounds really spicy, really cool as well, but probably way too powerful at the same time. I feel like the card game does a really good job in actually incorporating the lore based on the anime and the games into the actual mechanics of how certain decks perform. And I always really love that. Now, if I have to come up with one, I don't really have a mechanic in mind, but thinking back to like an anime scene was the Digimon Emperor or Digimon Kaiser, also known as the Evil Genai from Digimon Tri. Remember there was a scene that, you know, he showed up a couple times and, you know, mainly the big boss battle there was fighting against Virus Imperial. He was controlling Imperialmon, and it's the red purple version. And some of you guys know that, you know, this is a deck that I love playing at this current moment, and I've always been a huge fan of it. So I think having a Tamer card specifically for that would be really cool, dedicated for the archetype, and that's something I would love to see. Next question from Rune Rage. So a question I have is, would you consider doing a series where you have the 10 hybrid decks fight? Kind of like how you did the 13 Roaring Knights or Knights versus the 7 Great Demon Lords. 100%, I definitely had that in mind before, but the only thing is that it only feels like Ancient Gurumon and Ancient Greymon are just way more powerful than the rest of them. So maybe when we get even more future support, then that's something I would revisit for sure, but it would be really cool to see like a Battle Vault series of the 10 warriors against each other as well. So definitely stay tuned. Next question is by 700 Pure Wizard 4. Congrats dude, big ups. Can't wait to see you hit 300k subs. Great video production and very knowledgeable. Love your stuff, brother. And yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, this was not a question, but you know, just want to show you guys some like really nice comments I really appreciate while I was reading it, and it really just like warms my heart. I really hope one day we can reach 100k subs. So if any of you guys haven't done so yet, make sure to sub right now. Help us get there. You know, it's definitely gonna be a crazy ride, but a very fun journey to get there as well. And yeah, I really hope so. Next question is from 1410 Jags. Congrats AVAULT, well deserved, excellent content. My question is, what was your favorite Digimon growing up? And do you have a different one now? Is there a Digimon that replaced the favorite over years? Now, to quickly answer the last part of that question, no, because my personal favorite is always Black or Greymon, but I have a couple of others as well, like Dogoramon, Alphamon, Dustmon, Chaos Gallantmon, Hexablaumon. And I think one of the things is that I learned about Omnimon's Zwart Defeat from the card game, and which also became like one of my favorite you know, Digimon on my list. And you guys can kind of see the whole list if you piece out together. They're all these like edgy purple dark color stuff, and yeah, characters. And yeah, I'm that kind of I got that kind of taste. Next question we have Goon King 1110. Congrats AVAULT. I just started playing the game like a year ago, and your videos have been a big part of your journey. Wanted to know what type of camera setup I use when playing online regionals, ultimate cups. Thinking of getting one yourself, but not sure what equipment to get. Now, the answer is not sponsored, by the way. I just recommend any Logitech webcam. They're fantastic. Anyone that has like the tilting function where you can kind of like put it on a stand and a mount, and then it can kind of tilt downwards like on an angle, which is the best one. I currently use one of them, and yeah, it's been fantastic. And yeah, definitely get one of those. Next up, we got Josh Meshling 5509. Congratulations, you got 2 questions. In the future, will I do live videos where I deck build with subscribers so I can get their feedback and opinions? To quickly answer that, yeah, I had that in mind. That would be pretty fun. That's something that I would probably like to do sometime in the future in a live stream. Although mostly when I live stream nowadays are just really all about like me playing at the Ultimate Cups or Regionals. But yeah, probably sometime in the future for sure. Or would I host a online tournament someday and keep up with the amazing work? Definitely have that one in mind as well. And it'll be really cool because then I could like make some exclusive AVAULT prizing merch that you can only get by playing in the tournaments. And yeah, that's definitely on one of my to-do lists down the future. So, you know, definitely just stay tuned. Next question is from GoFlow Gaming or GMNG. Hi AVAULT, congrats on 30k. I think you should do a video going through your personal collection of Digimon cards. I also had that in mind before, but I gotta get my collection sorted out nicely, and I had a lot to go through, and I gotta pick and choose on which cards that I want to showcase, right? There's some that I want to show that are, you know, just personal favorites, you know, nothing like too high valuable or anything like that. And then I guess I have another section of some collections of maybe some cards are slightly higher value, but generally I don't really have a lot. But yeah, maybe someday when I can gather all of them, put them in a nice binder and showcase it to all you guys. Next up, we got one from Base GST1. You guys deserve it. So much of the Digimon content and info is what you usually come for, and your question is, what is a deck that I still love using or playing to this day, even if it's not meta defining, but just to play overall. Now, I did list a bunch of my favorite Digimon, and most of the decks that I love playing are based on my favorite Digimon. But just to give a quick answer on a specific one right now, Alphamon is always my go-to every, format or meta. I'm always looking forward for new cards for it to come, especially, when BT22, I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, right now I'm working on like the stack-based version and then having like sort of a bit of a mix of the Chronicle top end together with the BT13 stuff from before. And yeah, always love it. It's, not like the strongest deck currently at the moment. It's pretty decent though. It can actually win games and it can potentially top 2, which I'm pretty confident in. But yeah, that's one of the decks I always love playing for sure. Next up, we got Steven O'Connor. Congrats. If you had a question, it would be my current Wargreymon build. Now, I don't have a Wargreymon build at the moment that's most updated because I'm still waiting for future support for it to come. It looks like EX9 is getting us a little bit of cards, but that's mostly for Ultra S. I'm definitely excited for Black War Grey, if that answers part of the question, when EX10 comes. But yeah, if you ever want to make a deck list or sort of like a suggestion, just consider joining the AVAULT Club and becoming like a premium member, and you can make a request and I would make a deck list on there and post it there as well for you guys. Next, we got Justin Bolerino. Congrats, AVAULT. My question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years, whether if it's still doing Digimon or not? That's a very good and tough question, because thinking back, like, I could not imagine myself doing this like 10 years ago, and then now I gotta think 10 years ahead. And I really hope I continue to like make hopefully Digimon content, but even if it's not Digimon content, something within the TCG space or gaming space, and still being involved in the community and build this kind of community with you guys, and you guys can see the whole journey together and have fun and really just entertain everyone with whatever content I make. And also, most importantly, make a lot of merch so you guys can buy more of it. Next one, we have Dark D Master. All the videos have been great. So many decks that you want to try. Using deck profile and combo videos always help you get a start on the tech that you can tweak and play it. So your question is, do I think Digimon needs more reprints and regularly? I see that Yu-Gi-Oh does it regularly, and Magic sets are a mixture of old and new cards, but Digimon usually puts reprints in box toppers and promo packs. Do I think they would ever be a good idea if they did a yearly product like Yu-Gi-Oh? I assume kind of like a mega tin, where you have a tin or something that contains packs that's really sought after cards to help getting into people's hands. And the question brought to you by calling the 2x medieval Gallantmon on TCG Player, having them being at $80 each. Yeah, that's a long one, but I actually do think Bandai is doing frequent enough reprints at the moment. Now hear me out, let me elaborate, because there's the form of event packs, there are already box toppers, promos, alt arts such as box sets, premium Bandai products, Evo Cup events, and so on. Like, they are reprinting it in a lot of different medium, but the most important thing I think is actually the speed of delivery. They just need to speed it up and get them into people's hands as quickly as possible. And here's a really good example, as Medieval Gallantmon is one of the ones that you mentioned. It's coming out in the Tamer's Evolution box, but that's not coming out until December, which is still like 7 months away from today. It's just a matter of like, okay, we just need it faster, try to, identify that as soon as possible and implement it into the part of the next round of event packs or tournament packs right away as soon as you can. Also, on top of that, I think a yearly product like Megatin or RBO1, which we kind of had before, would be really good, and I think they should revisit and explore that again. Next question from Bancho Leo 55. Hey AVAULT, by any chance will you be releasing the Spirit of Light Transcendence bundle again? You found out that was selling at some point, but they're all sold out. Unfortunately, they are limited runs, so once they're gone, they are gone. But I just checked, we still have a couple of playmats, dice, and binders from the Spirit Light collection specifically, so make sure to grab them before they're gone. And if you guys are some of interested, here's a little sneak peek I'm gonna give you guys. Well, not like a sneak peek, but just verbally like leak to you guys that I'm, considering working on another extended Spirit Transcendence collection, but this time it's gonna be focusing on the dark element. So definitely stay tuned as well. Question from Nacho Alfonso. How long does it take you to post a video from concept to filming, editing, etc.? That's also a very good question, and I can go on forever with this, but to dissect it down and make it, digestible as quickly as possible, it really depends on the video, because we got many different kinds that I kind of make on the channel. There's obviously the deck profiles and the gameplay videos, there's discussion videos, there's ACU, which is also known as AVAULT Cinematic Universe. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, be sure to check out that playlist too. Really cool, fun stuff where we do skits and cool things there and challenges. Battle Vault itself and many more others are going to be coming. So for regular deck profiles, gameplays, and discussion videos, I'd say they take about like a total of like 3 days from coming up the build, you know, coming up the script and theorizing everything and writing it down, and then play testing specifically for decks, recording it, and then play testing more again just to optimize it as much as I can. And like I answered in one of the previous questions earlier, we take a lot of different shots for deck profiles just to make sure the video quality is good. And for ACU, it takes a little bit longer with about 5 days because it kind of encapsulates like my journey and life of playing the Digimon card game. So there's a bit more like creative freedom after the stuff that happens, and then we sort of like come up with a story. But coming up with a story, we kind of script the story out, and there's a lot of writing in that context, and then having to come up with an idea and something that's appealing, and you know, gathering all the information that may be useful to you guys to be included in those videos as well. So yeah, that's why those take a little bit longer. Now for the longest ones that you guys can probably see coming, if you guys are, you know, long-term fans, you would know, Battle Vault is the one. That takes like 7 days to make. Straight from non-stop filming and editing. It's the highest production videos that I've tried to make on the channel, with scheduling, with, you know, organizing people to play together, organizing myself, you know, checking the quality of gameplay, making sure it's good. You know, we try our best to do that as well. I get judges to watch it over once or twice to make sure that certain interactions are played as correctly as possible. And yeah, just a lot of time is involved, and we want to be able to get the best game as much as possible as well. So we keep playing and keep playing. And then, you know, lighting, sound effects, quality checks, voices, if we ever need it. In the most recent series for the Royal Knights versus the 7 Great Demon Lords, we incorporated a little bit of like voice acting behind it, which is kind of fun as well. And yeah, one of my personal favorites, which take a long time as well, are the boss animation cards. Shout outs to Sam once again, because he makes them absolutely amazing. But even I am very heavily involved in that process, because I kind of need to tell him, oh, I want this, it explodes here, it explodes there, I want this kind of effect. And yeah, a lot of notes really go into, you know, and thought really goes into the whole process of coming up with the entire video and series. So I hope that answers your question. That was a long one for sure. Next we got Eric Edstorm. What's your favorite deck to play in Digimon? Now, I talked about my favorite Digimon earlier as well, and I always like playing those decks. But if we're talking about just gameplay and mechanics alone, ignoring the looks of the Digimon that I like, funny enough, the one that I like to play the most is Blue-Green Imperial. And some of you guys may not know, I'm not like a personal fan of Imperial Digimon itself as much, the blue-green one. But ever since I picked up the deck in BT4, back when I was playing like the pure blue version, going up into the BT3 Imperial Digimon Dragon mode, I just love the mechanic of it. You know, I just love how it rolls. It just really, you know, melds well together with my playstyle. Aggressive, attack, suspend, you know, attack, 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 turn cardboard sideways. And sometimes it does feel pretty nice just that you can like turn your brain off and just, you know, let the deck do the work kind of thing. Let it do its thing if you're lucky enough, kind of. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of my personal favorite decks to specifically play. Congrats. What other TCGs did you play, and why did you choose Digimon for your channel? Now this question is certainly gonna dive pretty deep into the older archives of the AVAULT channel, but for me personally, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot as a kid. Recently, I've been playing a little bit of Gundam, you know, trying to get into it a little bit, and I tried a little bit of One Piece and Lorcana as well. But aside from that, prior to all of those Bandai card games, I've been always playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And for the longest amount of time, I actually played Speed Duel, and if you scroll deep enough into my videos or my oldest videos, you would know in the history, I used to make a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel content on the channel. Same thing, gameplay, deck profiles, everything, everything about it basically. And sadly, the format wasn't as well as supported by Konami, and it kind of just pretty much discontinued not too long ago, unfortunately. And during that period, or before or during the period when it wasn't really like supported as well, there was a time that was very, very quiet. I came across Digimon, and then it became my main TCG. I love playing it in the get-go, and yeah, now here I am making Digimon TCG content. Next up, we got Third Strike 4. No, Mario is fuming deep down inside because he can't even get past the 17K mark, and he started before AVAULT. Okay, so, well, actually, and technically, I think I actually started my channel before Mario did. Yeah, considering like, I started doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff back then. But either way, Mario is a great guy, And he's been on the channel a couple of times, especially when it comes to Battle Vault. Fantastic guest, and I absolutely love working and playing with him. From there, we kind of just became friends and hang out from time to time, and it's all good. It's all good. At the end of the day, it's not about the competition. It's really about having fun, making content together while at it, and supporting each other and helping each other, and you know, making the community thrive, which is as awesome as it can be. So that wraps up for all the comments and questions from YouTube, but I also got more for you guys because I also posted in other social media platforms, such as the Facebook groups, which we'll go into this one right now, where the first one we got Ricardo. Thanks for the great job, very smooth addition. What do I think about Bandai needs to have a better onboarding for the game? I've been trying to help new communities establish in your city, but it's kind of hard from Mexico. Answer would be, I think that they need to market the game more, whether if it's like different medium, like do more marketing basically, you know, whether, you know, cover it for more events, do more media coverage, that's the most important, you know, streaming, advertising, you know, anime even. We got a webcomic, which is fantastic. I think the next step would really be an anime, and overall just more events. We need more events. Some of those are being tackled right now, such as having like Digimon Elysian coming up real soon, and I really believe and really hope that shakes things up very differently, because being able to have access to playing the Digimon card game on the mobile phone is going to be a huge win, where everyone or anyone can have access to play this game, and that's going to be a huge win for sure. Next we got Marcus. Congrats. If you could print support for one deck or archetype, which one would you choose? Once again, looping back to my favorite Digimon list, definitely anything within that list I would be super happy with. But the one that I want the most at this particular moment right now is specifically Chaos Gallantmon. Like Chaos Gallantmon, not Megijumon. I know Megijumon is doing very well in tournaments and all that kind of stuff, but I'm a Chaos Gallantmon fan. And it'll be really cool if they can bring in like a Chaos Gallantmon X antibody, or even Chaos Gallantmon Chaos mode, not Crimson mode, Chaos mode, which is also maybe a bit controversial because that one's like a toy and it's never really official. But I mean, it's a card game. They certainly can. It's Bandai. They can do whatever they want, right? So yeah, but outside of that as well, just from my personal favorites, I think Ravemon would be a pretty good one as well. I know Sam's gonna love this one because he's always loved the Ravemon with the hand destruction, like sort of like mechanic, and the whole, you know, play style of the deck. And I generally think the archetype is pretty cool, and I think they should build on that because I feel like Ravemon hasn't gotten love for a very long time. Next question, we got one from Thomas. With Atmon starting a new playstyle and more types coming on the way, would you like to see more decks that focus on solidarity, like the linking aspect? Now, I think the game designers of the game right now are actually trying to do that. We can kind of see that on more specific archetypes already, such as Adventure, Hero, the DM trait from EX9 coming, as well as the explicit Cyber Sleuth trait in BT22. Now, I think having new mechanics for these decks are really cool and nice for sure, because it kind of like, you know, changes the way how people play the game, you know, gives like a breath of fresh air to, you know, aside from just the traditional stack building decks or the most mechanics that we're, you know, most familiar with. But at the same time, I don't really want them to overdo it too much either, because I feel like it can get overwhelming as time goes on. When you build up so many different decks that do so many different things, it might start to become a little bit difficult for a new player to, you know, join in already as well. So little bit is good. That's how I like to keep it. Next one, we got one from Hassan. Why have you not embraced the power of EOSMon? Question mark. It is tier 0, and remember, EOSMon is love, EOSMon is life. You know what? I think this one is a little bit too not my kind. You know what? I'm just gonna get Sam to answer that one.
Yeah, Hassan, that is a great question, and it's one that I find myself asking Jeffrey every day. Like, why are we making other deck profiles when EOSMon exists?
How do you plan to expand the channel and the brand in the future? So to answer that, the AVAULT channel is not big at all. It's pretty small. I mean, like, you know, compared to all the YouTube channels out there, you guys can tell, you know, 30K subs is great, but you know, it's not like, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions, and maybe hopefully we can get to that day. But okay, but seriously answering that question, it's mostly just Sam and I when it comes to making content. I did mention a little bit earlier, you know, I got a few friends that we work together behind the scenes to make merch for the AVAULT store as well. But if you're thinking of the Battle Vault team, because, you know, in Battle Vault I do mention like, oh, gathering my friends is like a whole team. It's really just, you know, a group of friends that play together and then, you know, just locally and kind of met and know each other for a little while, and then we just get them together. And yeah, that team is growing, you know, bigger and bigger. But again, just keep in mind, they're just guests here playing about Battle Vault and just trying to have fun. And then to answer the second part of the question, definitely continue to deliver content for you guys and try to make it as awesome as possible. I'm considering trying to outgun them right now, just playing personally for fun, but eventually maybe we might add some content on that on the channel as well to further grow with, you know, different audiences and, you know, build a different community altogether perhaps. So we'll see how that goes though. Make more merch to expand for sure. You know, I want to continue making more stuff for you guys, like really awesome, good quality things and exciting things that make you guys excited for and hyped for and happy, you know, when you get them for sure. So yeah, definitely stay tuned as always. Next question, we got Leo Lee. What's your prediction on the future of the Digimon card game after unification? Is it going to grow with more new products, premiums, and store tournaments, etc.? Do you think it will continue to grow in the next 5 years, since we got a 5th year at the moment? What do you think of the signature cards in BT21 being guaranteed 2 per case? What does Bandai need to do better with signature cards or chase cards? Examples, 2 stars, rares, pulls, SPs, ghost rares in general for future sets and starter decks. So yeah, that's a pretty long question, so let's break that down a little bit. I'm definitely keeping my hopes high ever since unification. I mean, the new products reviewed so far seem to be very promising and exciting. I think everyone's definitely looking forward to the new sets for sure. I would definitely say this as well. We definitely need more events overall, and I believe they're working on it. At the moment, although in comparison to last year, it's not as much, but I really hope they're gonna continue to add and build on that and, you know, address that side of things. And with Digimon Elysian coming, which I mentioned earlier as well, I can see it to grow even more because it really gives a lot of potential and it can open up a lot of doors on how the card game can go for the future, as well as more people join and play. I think it's really cool that there's multiple levels when it comes to the rare pools, and I like to see more of it. So like the fact on BT21, I feel like they went pretty ham because there's like box toppers, promos, there's the signature cards like you mentioned, which are relatively easier to pull. And then there's like the 1 per case cards that you can chase pull. And then there's also the really hard to pull like serialized Omni and so on. And honestly, I think that they're doing a great job. I don't expect them to do that craziness every single set. Yeah, I don't have too much to say when it comes to this. I just think it's really nice and really cool to see, and I would love to see more of it. But there is one thing that I would like to mention that I'm not too sure of, is the idea of having the language exclusive alt arts, such as Medusa, for example, because there's one exclusively for English, one artwork that is specific to Japanese, and another artwork specifically for Chinese. And yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but it would be nice if we were able to get access to all of them instead. Next question from James. What a fantastic achievement. What season was the one that made you fall in love with Digimon? Also, how did you come about with the idea of creating your channel? I watched Digimon ever since I was a kid. The first season for sure, Adventure, and always loved it and watched all the way to like Frontier. And this one's gonna dive a little bit deeper to the AVAULT lore. I started opening Yu-Gi-Oh product on the channel, and that's because like I was just trying to get back into it a little bit. Not the game, but I was just kind of collecting because it's very nostalgic and I loved the cards as a kid for sure. As some of you guys know, I used to play it, used to collect it, and I just want to rebuild my whole collection. And as I was collecting, I just thought to myself, or some of my friends are telling me, you should really just film yourself and make some videos since you're buying all this stuff anyways. And I was like, okay, you know what? Sure, why not? I started doing that. And then here I am eventually playing Digimon. Like I mentioned before, I was playing a little Speed Duel, but ever since then I started playing Digimon. It just became like the main content that I make here on the channel now. Next up, we got Jonathan. Will you sell me your purple hybrid deck? Now, shout outs to Jonathan, which is just a friend from locals. And it's always been a running joke because he keeps asking everyone, especially me, if they or we would sell him a purple hybrid deck because he wants to play it. And the answer is still no. I just love my Dustmons too much, and I only have 4 copies of them, so I would only keep them. But you could buy the band mats for a good price. Next one, we got one that is anonymous. Do I plan on collabing with any other particular Digimon TCG content creators, or maybe a dream collab? Now, absolutely, I'm always looking for more guests to appear on the channel for Battle Vault. Always a fantastic thing to feature other content creators. An epic dream collab would be just having a ton of them together and hosting like a massive tournament. And think about how cool that would be, right? And that would definitely take a lot of time though. A lot of time. And a lot of planning and it's always in the back of my head. So stay tuned, and maybe someday we'll get there. So that wraps up for all the comments, and thank you guys for submitting. And like I mentioned in the post, there will be a winner for a giveaway, and the winner of the best comment will be Nacho Alfonso. Congratulations, and you win yourself a pack of Ultimate Dragonkin sleeves. So make sure to check the pinned comment down below on instructions so that I can get this to you as soon as possible. And I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. If you guys did and want to see more giveaways in the future, make sure to give this video a like, make sure to subscribe, comment down below and let me know if you guys want to see more of these every now and then, that we just do some fun Q&A videos like this. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are, and see you in the next video. And this is AVAULT signing out.